Today, I want to talk to you about some items or just things that I have purchased that have helped me with peace in life and just financial peace or freedom. These are things that have helped me, so they may not help you. This was just a disclaimer. I'm not saying these are for everyone. I'm not saying that everyone should go out and get these things. I'm not saying that this is going to fix anything in your life, right? I'm just saying for me, these have helped me tremendously. So, with all that said, let's get into it. Starting off at number one, and to some this may seem obvious, to some this may seem silly, but for me, it's life insurance. And now, I'm not like a brainiac, I don't know everything about life insurance, but I do know there's two different types of life insurance. There's whole life insurance. I'm sorry, let me fix this. It's kind of bothering me. Lock my chair in, right? There's whole life insurance and term life insurance. Now, from everything I've seen, whole life insurance is pretty weird. It feels kind of scammy. It costs way more. The way it works is a little weird to me. You'd have to do your own research. Maybe I can put something up here that kind of explains it. Hey everyone, I wanted to go ahead and add this in. I originally was just gonna put up a picture of what the differences were, but there are quite a few things, and I just want to explain that term life insurance is only for a set term where you pay a small monthly fee. Like, for example, me, it's like 20 something bucks a month. And in that fee, you get, 20, 30, whatever, however many years is in your contract. I believe for mine, it's 20 years or 25 years. You just have to look at what you're buying, right? And you just pay that monthly fee. And if you were to die within that time, there's a payout that would go to your family or whoever you list as the beneficiary. Now, whole life insurance is generally much more expensive. It's much more upfront, much more per month. There's some investment angle to it. I can't quite figure it out because I don't really understand it, but by the end of it, you're supposed to get money back, but you almost never get back as much as you would have if you just invested that money in an investment account, like say in the S&P 500. You would get way more on your investment than you would investing in a whole life insurance account. And it just seems like anyone that's ever tried to get me to buy a whole life insurance account is just a salesman for a company. So I don't really trust it. I mean, obviously, you do whatever you want to do. That's up to you. But that's just my opinion on it. I think term life insurance is definitely the way to go. And I would just avoid whole life insurance altogether because it's so much more money. What you're getting back is not very great. And I just don't see the point when you could have term life insurance that is a guaranteed set amount that you decide upon and it's just very cheap. So, but what I'm talking about today is term life insurance. Now, what that is like what I have that you basically go to a company. You can use any company. There's so many people that sell life insurance. Policy Genius is a great place. They shop around for you, find you the best deals. I'm not sponsored by anyone or anything like that. I don't know if you can tell. This is a pretty small channel, but maybe one day I'll have a sponsorship. But I'm not sponsored by any brands or companies I ever mention in my videos. But Policy Genius is a great place. They can basically search through everywhere and find what you're looking for and find you the best deal on it. And for me, I think I'm in a 20-year plan, right? And it's like $22 a month, and it gives me $750,000 of coverage if I were to pass. And now, obviously, when the 20 years is up, I can renew it if I want to. Now, the rates may go up because as you age, shocker, you're closer to death. And so the insurance companies are less likely to want to take you on because they know the closer you go up in age, the closer they are to having to pay out to your family, right? But this has really given me a lot of peace because I know at the end of the day, no matter what happens to me, my family is taken care of, right? They will be able to pay for any unexpected bills, right? They will be able to get through the grieving process and that hard time, right, they will have at least the means to get by. They may be grieving, there may be a lot going on if I were to pass, but they would at least have the means to be able to not have to struggle and worry financially. And that just brings me a lot of peace knowing that. I mean, I know a lot of people that don't really plan for that, right? They don't plan on dying, and I hope not, right? I'm not planning on dying tomorrow. I certainly hope not, but things happen in life, right? A lot of unexpected things happen. And I, especially if you have children, I would just highly recommend at least looking into a life insurance policy because you never know what could happen and you can find some pretty cheap deals. And most of them, you're not locked in, right? You can cancel at any time. It's just a great peace of mind for me. Number two, and shocker, like I haven't talked about this one before, but savings. Having a savings and having an emergency fund. I would love to have a year saved up. I'm not quite there yet, but having an emergency fund saved up, let's just say 6 months of living expenses, is such an amazing peace of mind, right? It it not only is it a peace of mind, it gives you flexibility, right? If you have a job that you're just beginning to hate, right? Or you decide, hey, I want to go over here. I want to pursue starting my own company, right? Maybe it takes a little time, right? Because things don't just happen immediately. You don't start a company and immediately you're successful. Some people they do, but a lot of people it takes time, right? And so that can buy you some of that time, right? You can afford that time. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have those options. You don't have that flexibility, right? Let's say someone comes up to you and you have a great investment opportunity or something comes up and you want to buy it, right? I, obviously, that's not what an emergency fund is for, but if you have an emergency fund plus extra savings on top of your emergency fund, then you can do things like that because you know that I have an emergency fund set aside where if something goes wrong, something happens, I can take care of my family. And then I have even more savings. Let's say you have additional savings on top of your emergency fund that just grant you so many more opportunities, right? And so I just think it's so important to have that savings, to start with building that emergency fund and working your way up from there, right? Have your retirement have an additional savings. You know, you have savings, you can start savings for vacations, you can start savings for a new car, and you can start savings for new adventures. Like if something comes up and somebody says, hey, do you want to do this? Would you like to do this? Do you want to invest in this? Maybe you want to start your own company. You never know. But if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have that flexibility, right? And I know in certain times and journeys in people's lives, they don't have the time right now. They don't have the means to be saving right now, but just whatever you can start with saving, save it. It can change your life. Another small thing that has given me peace of mind is water sensors. Now, I know it sounds crazy. I'll put a picture of one here, but it's just a small little device. They're maybe about yay big, small device. I have them under every sink in my house. I got a pack of like five of them for, I want to say like 25, 35 bucks, somewhere in there. And they actually did help me catch a leak. I had a leak in my kitchen under the sink, and it was a small drip. I probably wouldn't have noticed it, at least for several days, right? A small drip. When are you going to notice that? I don't know about y'all. I'm not constantly looking under my sink, so I probably wouldn't notice a small drip. But because I put it right under the sink, when that small drip hit, it started going off, right? And that has saved me so many times. And by so many times, I mean two. But I still I mean, for like a $25, $35 piece of hardware, that's pretty great, right? I mean, if I didn't catch those two leaks, could have turned into mold, could have turned into a giant puddle. Of course, it would have happened at the best time, right? It would have been like middle of the night. I'd walk in to get a glass of water, and oh, nice, there's a puddle on the floor, right? So I'm just saying that it has just really given me peace knowing that if I were to get a leak in one of my sinks, it's going to go off and I'm going to hear it. Now, obviously, it's 25, $35, right? It's not like connected to my phone. It's none of that stuff, which I like. It's very simple. It just has batteries. You test it every like 6 months if it needs batteries or not. I believe it makes a sound kind of like a smoke detector if it needs batteries, but just I test it every once in a while. I have a reminder on my phone every 6 months to test them and make sure they're working. Other than that, it's super simple, right? And it's just one of those things that I mean, they're so cheap and it's just silly not to have them. I can't believe I didn't have them before. And that's what I'm telling y'all. I hope everybody has them because with how cheap they are, it's silly not to have them. Lastly, the best peace of mind is actually something that's already on my phone and that I didn't have to purchase is just using reminders. At least for me, I am always forgetting to do things. I feel like there's so many things going on through the week, during the day, during the weekend, that I'm always forgetting things. And setting reminders, especially recurring ones, like I said, to check and double check the batteries on the leak detectors or to change out my air filter for the air conditioner, right, for the furnace, uh, to do a water change on my fish tank, right? All these things to take the trash to the curb on Thursdays. All these things that I would have normally forgotten has helped me so much. And again, like I said, not everything on this list was going to be about financial peace. This just brought me peace in general. This helped me so much. You have no idea how many times I woke up or went to work and realized I forgot to set the trash out. Or how many times I'm like, oh man, when's the last time I changed the air filter in the house? There's other things I'm not thinking of that I use reminders for, but it's just something that's so simple and so easy. And like I said, once you've set them and you just set them to recur every month, every other month, every week, whatever it may be, they're locked in and now it's just going to happen. Now, obviously, starting off with some of them, I may have just accepted them to make them go away, to make the reminder go away. I didn't want to see it on the screen and I didn't want to do it right now, right? I kind of procrastinated a little bit, but I've gotten a lot better about that. And I think if you give it a try over time, you will too. So those are some of the things that I think could maybe bring you some peace. They have certainly brought me peace. And I would love to hear down below in the comments if you have any recommendations from other things you would like me to talk about, or maybe I could give some advice on. And I just wanted to say I love the support and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.